If you're watching this, you have come across me somewhere on the social media and you're curious about the opportunity of us going into your ad account, running your ads and helping you scale your business. Well, with that being said, you're in the right place. My name is Kalash and I run Cosmoon Media. I've got over tens of thousands of followers on LinkedIn and we have worked with over 65 plus e-commerce brands and we have generated over $35 million in track revenue across all sorts of niches like home decor, fashion, gifting, FMCG, supplements, apparel and beauty. And we have achieved some incredible results for them. A home decor brand where we did over $1 million in 2-month window. A sustainable fashion brand went on from doing $119,000 a month to over $620,000 a month. A gift brand scaled by over 2400% in less than 12 months. And an FMCG brand went on from doing 65 grand a month to over $259,000 a month in less than 75 days. And a UAE based brand went on from scratch to over 420,000 dirhams in under 5 months. And a beauty brand we scaled by over 51% in under 90 days while increasing their ROAS at the same time. We have done all of this by following our 4-step process where we help our clients to scale them and make more money. So let's dial in. Step number 1 is creative driven paid ads. So this is basically where before we even think about touching the ad account or turning anything on, we go into your buyer's psychology first. What are they afraid of? What do they want? And what's stopping them from pulling the trigger and making a purchase? We use all that research to form a hypothesis. We build the creatives out. We do a mix of human performance creatives and AI driven content. We have got a full stack in-house team that takes care of all the ideation, scripting, editing and delivering creatives end to end right from scratch. On top of it, we have an AI infrastructure that can pump in tens of AI creatives every single week. So look, the creative is the single biggest lever in any e-commerce ad account and most agencies treat it like an afterthought. That's why most of the accounts plateau. So this is something that we take really seriously. Step number 2 is building out specific funnels. So this is where for the creatives that are actually showing some real promise, we go and build out specific funnels around them, whether that's advertorials, VSL funnels, quiz funnels or listicles. It just depends on what we are testing and what the product actually needs. And the whole point of this is that not only we are going to improve the creative itself that resonates with the market, we are improving the congruence between the creatives and the landing pages. So that way we can improve that conversion process, because you can have the best ads in the world and if you're sending people to a generic product page with no alignment, you're just burning money. Step number 3 is data driven scaling. Now this is where we actually allow brands to have more margin per order and more profitability per customer, which then allows us to spend more on ads and actually outbid the competition, which makes it significantly harder for the competitors to come into the marketplace and try and compete with you, because you can afford a much higher cost per acquisition rather than your competitors. Look, the most agencies see decent ROAS and they just start increasing the budget. That's not scaling, that's gambling. We zoom out and we look at the entire business as a holistic bird's eye window. The offer, the AOV, the LTV and the margins. We fix the entire funnel and then we scale. This is exactly what we did for the home decor brand, where $276,000 in ad spend came back over $1 million in revenue, and the FMCG brand where we tweaked the offer, rebuilt Google, launched full email deactivation campaign and went from doing $65,000 a month to $259,000 a month in 75 days. Now, step number 4 is market expansion. So this is where for most of the clients, we actually start looking at expanding into other markets. What's working in one country, we duplicate across a couple of other markets with localized stores and creatives. And this literally just allows us to add thousands of dollars per day by opening up new geographies. We launched a brand in the UAE from complete scratch and we scaled it to 420,000 dirhams in less than 5 months. Top 3 selling SKUs, local micro influencer creatives, multi-funnel scaling from day 1. Meta ROAS turned out to be 3.2x and Google ROAS turned out to be around 4.8x. Now certain clients, sometimes this doesn't make sense depending on the restrictions on where they are at right now. But for most of the clients, this is something that we look at and it just accelerates the scale massively. And this is all exactly what we did for the brands I just mentioned. Now I'd like to address a couple of common questions around this. What does the first 30 day look like? So this is basically where when you come in as a client and we immediately start doing all the market research. What creatives do we want to test? What's already being tested in the account? What's already working for you right now? And what are the opportunities and bottlenecks that are preventing you from scaling? In the first few days, we are already identifying those things and building the first round of creatives that we want to test. This is also very dependent on what content you have already got, because if you have got an existing library, we can move in much faster. From that, we are usually testing, finding the winners and starting to build out the funnel structure around what's actually converting. You're not waiting 3 weeks to see anything happen. We move fast from day one itself. Now, another question that I get a lot of times is that do we create the creatives? So yeah, the answer to that question is yeah, we do. We do a mix of human performance creatives and AI driven content all in-house. We have got an in-house team that takes care of all the ideation, scripting, video editing, graphic designing, and making AI creatives right from scratch to finished. And the best part is that creative is included in what you pay us monthly. You're not getting a surprise invoice every single time we want to test a new angle. And look, you're working with a growth agency here, not a creative agency, not a media buying agency, a growth agency. So at all times, we are consistently looking at the bottlenecks within the business that is preventing you from scaling. And then we are taking aggressive action on it. If the account is struggling with creatives, we go hard on creatives. If it's struggling with landing pages, we fix the landing pages. If it's the offer, we work on the offer. We don't have a fixed monthly deliverable that we are tickling on checklist. We go where the data tells us to go. Now, you might be thinking, how many ad creatives do you make per month? So look, this is purely dependent on what the account needs at that given moment of time. On an average, we are testing anywhere between 6 to 8 ad creatives every single week. Sometimes more depending on the ad spend level. But honestly, the number isn't the point. The point is finding what works and scaling it. We'd rather find 4 creatives that actually scale than produce 20 that just goes nowhere. Every decision that we make is data driven. So what's the best working relation between you and us? So this is a great one to just address quickly. We love clients that ship things out fast when we need it, whether that's approving a creative direction, serving over existing content, or moving on and off a tweak. We love clients that focus on the customer and on improving the LTV, because if you're doing our job on the ad side and you're doing your job on the product and retention side, that's where the real compounding happens. We love people that make data-driven decisions, not emotional ones. Everything needs to have a data-driven argument behind. If something is not working, we'll tell you exactly why, with what numbers, and what we expect for the same in return, and we expect the same from you guys in return. We also love it when clients can send over a folder of existing content that we can start working with immediately while we are building out new set of creatives. We don't like to work with clients that micromanage. I'll be straight about that. If you're someone who wants to approve every single ad, question every single decision, and be involved in everything, we are genuinely not the right fit for each other. And I would rather be honest about that right now. We are here to run your ads, so you can just trust us to run your ads. Now, you might be thinking, what's your risk in this? So look, less than 1% of e-com businesses ever hit $1 million a year. Out of the 60 plus clients that we have worked with, we have helped dozens of them break through that barrier and go well beyond that. So you have a substantially better chance of getting them working with us than going at it alone or staying with an agency running generic playbooks on your brand. But let me tell you, it's not guaranteed. I'm not going to stand here and tell you that it's guaranteed, because nothing in advertising or marketing is. What I can tell you is that we are on month, no lock-in contracts, so you can leave at any given moment of time. And honestly, if the results aren't there, you should leave. We keep clients because the numbers are working, not because they are trapped in a 6-month agreement. Results or we work free. That's the model. For the next steps, you can click on the link below and book in a call with me. We'll go over your ad account together, look at what's working and what's not, identify your bottlenecks, and get a clear picture of what exactly needs to change. After the audit, you'll walk away with a proper game plan, whether we end up working together or not. So if it makes sense, great, but if not, no hard feelings. You still leave with something useful. So book in the call, link is in the below, and let's scale your brand.